Hi, my name is Marshall, and this is Waveform. You know, I've started a lot of these episodes with very vague questions in the past.
When was the last time a game menu felt important and interesting to you?
What's more important, making things sound realistic or making things sound good? And I guess this video is going to be no different. What I want to ask today is what's more important, what you say or how you say it? I'm going to look at 3 game voices to try and answer that question. But I picked them all for a very specific reason. By the end of the video, I want you to see if you can figure out why I picked this particular group of voices. The 3 voices are Bastion from Overwatch, Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5, and the voices of the characters in Stardew Valley. If you haven't played this game before, all the characters have the same voice, so you'll see what I mean. Alright, let's start with Bastion. Bastion delivers all of his dialogue through a series of beeps and whistles, and even though he never speaks a single word, there's no mistaking how he feels. He could be sad, laughing, or just taunting us. But we understand him. That's because things like inflection and pitch don't necessarily need words paired with them to be effective. The reason he sounds so human is because of his tone. So it might not be surprising to you that Bastion is actually voiced by a real person. And that means if we apply the same effects, we could turn someone else's voice into Bastion too. Let's give it a shot. Just gonna look this up here, trying to find the effects that they used. Okay, I have no idea how Bastion's voice was made, but I found some info on a fun fact from the Collector's Edition Handbook that says, Bastion is voiced by Chris Metzen, ran through several software plugins and voice modulations. We're going to have to do a little guesswork, but let's give it a shot anyway. Here's the clip we're going to use.
I don't know how it can get weirder than this.
Okay, so the basic goal of this first step is to isolate the part of Ethan's voice that can be made to sound robotic, and just get rid of the rest. So let's remove almost all of the high frequencies. Once we remove them, the effects we put on later will sound clearer. It's also going to make Ethan much harder to understand, almost like he's under a pillow or in another room. Here's what he sounds like now. Next, we're going to start adding effects. Our goal here is to add back the frequencies that we took away in step 1, so it sounds more full and crisp. Then we'll equalize again and add some compression to top things off. Now, Ethan sounds like this. It's not exactly Bastion, but it goes to show you don't necessarily need words to convey an emotion. And oftentimes, setting limitations like that for yourself can help you solve a problem much more creatively. After all, nobody would like R2-D2 if you just spoke like a normal person.
Ooh! Okay, I'm dead.
And just think, if Bastion says all of that with no dialogue, imagine how expressive a character can be with dialogue.
What kind of fucking animal do you take me for? No, I didn't kill him. Oh, fuck. But I did kidnap his wife! Oh, no.
Next up on our list of video game voices is the infamous Trevor Phillips from Grand Theft Auto 5. Trevor may be the most animated and reckless character I've ever seen in a game, but in reality, he walks and talks a lot like this guy, Stephen Ogg. And the reason he does is because of the way he's recorded. Most people think that video game voices are just recorded in a studio and figure they must be synced to animations made on a computer later. And in a lot of cases that's true. But in the case of Grand Theft Auto, it was actually captured live. With this form of motion capture, everything the actor does is transferred onto a skeleton model of his character. This includes the tiny articulations and the facial expressions as well. To say that Stephen Ogg voices Trevor would be a huge understatement.
The voice acting thing, I mean, it was a motion capture performance. The entire thing was motion captured.
So what does motion capture mean?
Motion capture is you're basically in almost a spandex suit that you wear, which is for some flattering and for others not so flattering because there's nothing really to hide. And you're covered in these reflective balls, essentially, all over. These little tiny, like marbles, all over you. On your head, you have a helmet, and you've got these bars with a bright light and a camera right on you. So that's right in your face. And then we've got our fingers, we've got our toes. And what you can see up on the screen is your actual, I used to call it my avatar. They didn't like when I said my avatar, but I was like, that's my avatar.
So it is 100% acting. Every
100%
bone
acting.
of your body, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's all cool, but where does he fit into the puzzle here? Trevor is a great example because he's equal parts tone and dialogue. Both the written words and his over-the-top delivery are telling us the same thing about his personality.
You gotta quit that shit, man. Yeah, I know. I take speed mostly, and look at me. Boom! Best shape of my life.
that he's absolutely insane.
Yes!
Alright, enough of Trevor. Let's calm things down a little. The last example is from a game called Stardew Valley, and it's a bit of an odd example for a video on voices because this game has none. Here's what dialogue sounds like in-game. This clicking or beeping sound is often referred to as non-voicing, and it's been around since the very earliest role-playing games in the 80s. Originally, this sound came about because of the memory limitations and lack of audio quality with 8-bit computers. Just to give you some perspective, the entire first Super Mario Bros. Game was about 30 kilobytes. Today, an RPG game could be 1.5 million times that size. Older RPGs just didn't have the room or the capability to play back recorded dialogue, but they could play back something like this. Now, much like pixel art, non-voicing has become a stylistic choice instead of a limitation. Non-voicing isn't necessarily better or worse than recording dialogue though, and as far as Stardew Valley is concerned, I'm not even sure that voice acting would have made this game any better. Imagine real people speaking over the soft, relaxing, retro soundscape in this game. It almost seems out of place to me. Plus, the non-voice tones and the paragraph-style reading allows the player to go completely at their own pace, which is what this game is really all about. Alright, so I gave you a little challenge at the beginning of the video to figure out the trend in this particular group of game voices. Now that I've gone through all three, can you figure out why I picked them? Well, I wanted to create a spectrum. From all tone and no words, to all words and no tone. Stardew Valley and Bastion represent the extremes on this spectrum, and Trevor fits right in the middle. So which matters more, what you say or how you say it? The answer is both matter, and it's up to you to interpret what's most important for each character. Next time you're playing a game or even watching a play, close your eyes and think about each character's voice and what you know about them because of it. Often there's much more information in someone's voice than you think. The only appropriate way I know to end this topic is by playing the single most expressive, most tonal, most incredible 2 words ever recorded.
A handbag?
Guys, this week I have another absolutely amazing subscriber giveaway for all my iPhone users out there. This is the Sennheiser Clip Mic Digital. This thing is just a massive upgrade to the iPhone microphone, and it's just absolutely ideal for going out and collecting sounds like Foley, dialogue, field recordings, ambiances, you name it. If you want to enter, all you have to do is subscribe and comment your favorite video game character voice with the hashtag Mike. I'll draw a random winner in 5 days. Thanks again to Sennheiser for making this possible, and thanks again to you guys for watching. Shoot me a thumbs up if you like the show. See you next time on Waveform.